Fighters jersey versus a Dodgers jersey. I like this better.
日本の NPB カード、海外ではどう評価されてる？本日はスコットさんを招いてお話ししていきたいと思います。What's going on 107カードの久 F です。本日はスコットさん、皆さんね、ご存知ある方多いと思います。スカーリビーカーズとか、スペッポーリンカーズという、スカーリビーカーズは本人の YouTube チャンネルで、スペッポーリンカーズは、ポッドキャスト式、YouTube4 名のストリーマーの方とされている、YouTube チャンネルなんですけど、そちらでね、野球カードを主に取り扱われて話されている超有名なコレクター YouTuber の方になります。で、スコットさんなんですけど、現在ですね、マーケットムーバーズに所属されておりまして、そちらでね、僕も知り合うことができてですね、本日、本人にね、ご登場いただいて、日本のカードがね、アメリカカードの市場の中でですね、どのような評価があるのかっていうところをディスカッションさせていただいて、本日ね、皆さんにね、そのディスカッションの内容をお伝えしたいなと思っております。はい。ですね、日本のカードってね、私たちがね、いつも普段集めている、大谷さんのカードとか、今大活躍中の岡本選手カードとかね、いろいろありますが、BBM であったり、エポックであったり、カルビーですね。ありますし、私たちの日本で製造されたお宝コレクション、海外だとどういう状況になってるか、本日ね、皆さんと見ていきたいと思います。ではね、早速、スコットさんを招いて見ていきたいと思います。では、行ってみましょう。Today we have a special guest to the show, and we have Scott Baldwin from Market Movers. Hello, Scott. Welcome to 107 Sports Cards.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here, talk about Ohtani. I even wore my Ohtani MPB jersey, Fighters jersey versus a Dodgers jersey. I like this better than the Dodgers as a Rockies fan, so happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, thanks for wearing the Fighters jersey. It looks amazing.
Thanks. I need to get some more. It's funny we're going to be talking about this, but I need to get some more BBM cards of his. I had some, I sold some. I need to get some back. I have a target. I can't say what it is right now, but there's one I'm looking at. So
okay. Well, there's a lot in Japan. So if you're ever thinking about coming to Japan, maybe it's time to get some BBM cards, Ohtani cards when you're here.
Yeah, we need to talk because maybe that's something we could work out. That'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of audience here from Japan. Can you please give a quick intro about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Scott. I have a couple YouTube channels. The first one that is fully mine is called Scotty B Cards. It's a baseball card focused YouTube channel. I'm also a part of Spitballin' Cards, a podcast there. And in Spitballin' Cards, it's like a baseball card podcast roundtable type discussion. And I'm also a part of Sports Card Investor as my day job. And so I record on that channel often, and I work with the tool Market Movers. So I don't know if Market Movers is big in Japan yet. Our goal is to add more BBM cards of other players. Right now, I believe we have the entire Ohtani BBM catalog for his rookie cards in 2013. Not so much like anything forward from that. So our goal is to add more of those soon, so that way you can track price movements. We're trying to pull in Yahoo auctions, so that way you can track those as well. But those are coming in the future months.
I'm really looking forward to that because I really need more Japanese baseball players database like in Market Movers. It's going to really help me out, and I'm sure a lot of audience here in Japan will definitely love that. And if you get the Yahoo auction listing data, that's going to be a huge bonus for us. So that's totally amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Yahoo Auctions is going to be, in the U.S., we don't use Yahoo Auctions as much. Maybe we should, if I'm being honest. But it's one of those things where that's obviously a huge marketplace for you all and something that you all use very heavily. So I think if we're going to do BBM cards right, well, we have Calbee other stuff as well, but Japanese baseball cards correctly, I feel like we need to. So,
yeah. Great. Well, by the way, Scott, who do you collect?
Oh, so I collect all sorts of players. I collect Ohtani, of course. I have some Ohtani. I say collect that player. I only have like 4 cards of his because they're all so expensive. You can only really ever have 3 or 4 cards of his. I also collect Mookie Betts. I love Mookie Betts. And Billy Butler. He's a baseball player from the 2010s. He played for the Royals and the Athletics. He's a family friend of ours, and so I've collected his card. He got me into baseball cards. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be in baseball cards. And then lastly, I collect the best player in Rockies history named Larry Walker. So those are the players I collect.
That's amazing. Well, speaking of Ohtani, maybe we can get started about this segment. So today we would like to discuss about baseball cards. And of course, we have MLB cards. And for some MLB players like Ohtani, Yamamoto, Murakami, they also have their days playing in a league in Japan. So today we would like to talk about Japanese baseball card and how it's perceived in U.S. market.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Great. So the first question to you, Scott, is when it comes to like global icon like Shohei Ohtani, how do you see the U.S. hobby perception involving regarding his Japanese pre-MLB cards from brands like BBM, Epoch, Calbee versus his traditional Topps MLB rookies?
So in the US, you're going to have obviously more interest in his Topps cards, mainly because a lot of collectors, especially those that aren't on social media, are not familiar with his 2013 card catalog. And so people probably don't know what BBM is compared to people like me who are on YouTube and Instagram and all those places. So I think there's always going to be a premium for his 2018 stuff. And you're always going to have those that prefer him in it was an Angels uniform in 2018, an Angels uniform versus a Fighters uniform. They view that as the rookie card. There's a rookie logo on those cards. So I think that 2018 is always probably going to be king in that sense. But 2013, Ohtani is unique enough, and I don't know if this is going to work for all Japanese baseball players or players who debut in the MPB, but I do think that Ohtani in particular, he's so important to the history of baseball, not Major League Baseball, but baseball internationally, that I think that his 2013 cards are always going to be appreciated. I don't know how they'll increase relative to their American counterparts in 2018. But I think that because he's so good, we want a part of every part of his career. And so him breaking out with the Fighters, them allowing him to pitch and hit at the same time was revolutionary and groundbreaking. So I think there's always going to be a demand for those cards for him.
Right.
Especially 2013.
Right. Especially the rookie ones.
Yeah.
I personally love the chrome finishing and the quality and the color variations of Topps and also like Bowman chrome cards. Yes. I love those. I have to say, one of my first Ohtani cards that I own was Topps Chrome. And
cool.
I really love the red variations, but they're too rare and too expensive. So I had the pink ones.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was still cool. But
do you still own them?
I don't own them anymore.
I know, that's my problem. Is all the cards I owned, I sold like an idiot.
Yeah. So. But at the same time, I really enjoy the BBM cards because you can actually see Ohtani incredibly young. And, and when you look at the 2013 cards, you can tell that he's very young and he just came out from high school, right? And he just got drafted. And the thing I like about BBM cards is that a lot of the 2013 cards of his is very it's a very low pop, so that's one of the part that I really like when you compare with the Topps cards where it's very high pop. So
yeah, I've heard rumors that they aren't as rare as the pop counts make it out to be because there's a lot more in Japan that just haven't been sent to PSA. Would you agree with that? And if so, how many more do you think there are compared to the pop counts?
I feel like a lot of the collectors in Japan collected in the binders. With just the sleeves. So I feel like the PSA 10s are going to be rare. I can see that there's going to be a lot of like 6s and 7s and 8s. But like having a 10 and a 9, I would say it's going to be quite rare. Like especially like when you look at like BBM Classics, like when you look at
that
the
pop is crazy.
Yeah. So
sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so the thing is, when you look at the back, like you can see, like it chips a lot. So like it's very hard to get a very good grade on it. So high grade cars, it's going to be rare to get. Like I'm sure that there's a lot of cards, and like if the collector started to submit to PSA, there's going to be a high pop count for the lower grades. But I think the higher grades is going to be quite rare going forward.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, it's going to be kind of a weird situation with PSA closing in the short term. Obviously, these cards, I'm looking at them on Yahoo Auctions right now. That's on my other screen. I'm kind of just taking a peek on what's available and what they're going for. But these cards are obviously worth enough now where you would submit them at the higher submission tiers. So the PSA shutdown isn't as big of a deal for you. But it is one of the situations where the effort for you, is there a PSA facility in Japan now?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not as bad. Okay, so that's good. But it's still a lot of effort. And like you mentioned, like the culture of collecting there is less about the grading. And so, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think there's probably some really amazing cards that just have never surfaced because people are great collectors in Japan and they have them in their binders, like you mentioned. So
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of crazy collectors here and longtime Otani fans as well. So when they start grading, maybe you see a lot of like rare, awesome cards popping up on PSA. So hopefully they start grading.
I know, I would love it. Get more opportunity to buy some cool cards. So what's your favorite 2013 rookie out of curiosity?
I like my favorite is the Kelby exciting rookies, because it has the pitching and the batting in one card. But lately I really like the BBM Classics.
Okay.
I like the design, like kind of like the retro look of design, and also I like the way that it's extremely rare. Like PSA 9 is quite rare, and I have a few raws, and I just submitted to the PSA.
Oh, nice!
A few weeks back, and I actually have on PSA 9, and PSA 9 is Pop 66, and PSA that's the exciting rookies.
Yeah, I want to show both. Here's the exciting rookies.
Yeah,
cool card. Now I'm gonna pull up the classics now. Keep going.
Yeah, the classics is there's only one pop for PSA 10.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I've seen it in Mercari in Japan, like a year ago. It was like around $2,000. I was just thinking maybe I would have gotten
it. Still available?
No, it's not available.
Yeah, that's a card. That's a great price if you could have gotten it there. I mean, you didn't know this big whole boom was about to happen in the last 7 months.
So yeah, like usually, like the back. When you look at the back of this card, you can see the chipping. There's always the chipping. So there is no like perfect card available. So yeah, this is a very difficult card to get a high grade on. And I owned 4 raw copies, and I already submitted 4 of them the last 2 weeks. I own 1 9, and
so a 9 is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah, it has some high value for the 9s. So
totally.
Yeah.
Like, what does a 9 go for now? I mean, it's not all about value, of course.
Last comp was like 3,000 around there.
Yeah,
but when you look at the previous comp, it went crazy.
Oh yeah, during like March and April time,
it was like 12K or something.
Sheesh, isn't that insane?
It's insane.
I'd love to know what the PSA 10 would go for on auction.
Oh, it's gonna be really, really crazy. I'll bet it's gonna be like 20K or something, at least. Yeah. It's top 1, and it's really difficult to get even a PSA 9. So yeah, it's going to be a one that I definitely would like to look for a very clean copy, because like sometimes on Yahoo Auction you can actually find one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but they rarely have the clean copies. So
How much do you trust the sellers in Yahoo Auctions? Because are there a lot of fake copies on there that you would worry about, or is it pretty honest? As a buyer from that's not as familiar with the platform.
I guess it's much safer, I would say. Like, I would be careful when you're buying like Pokemon cards here. But when it comes to sports cards, it's not as perceived as there's cards for like fakes. It's more of like there's a lot of collectors that actually want to kind of like sell it in the highs. So like you can see that there's a lot of collectors actually selling off their collection lately because it's gotten so high. I did have one of my YouTube followers comment that they got rejected by PSA because it was a counterfeit. But I guess that does happen, but it's extremely rare. But I never bought like a fake Otani rookie card. Maybe lately, maybe there might be some, but back in the day, like it wasn't worth like if it's worth like $30, it's not really worth making a fake.
Worth faking. Now that they're worth thousands, it's a little bit more likely.
Yeah, now maybe it's might be a bit more risky, but
no, I guess to answer your question, I do think that 2013 Otanis do have a strong place. I mean, they're pretty crazy pricing right now, but so is 2018. So it's hard for me to say that I don't think the pricing is sustainable because I think some of them are. I think you could say the same thing for all of Otani's cards is some of them are at a good price right now and others are probably priced too highly. But the issue is we have nobody to compare him to historically at all in any way. You could argue Barry Bonds is better than him in regards to like offensive output. I mean, not argue Barry Bonds is better than Otani offensively, but Otani does so much more than Barry Bonds. And Otani's a cultural icon across the world, and Otani didn't use steroids. So like there's a lot of things that Otani is really trending in the right direction for. I think when it's all said and done, there will be a debate about who is the best baseball player ever. So we could say, is it Babe Ruth? Is it Hank Aaron? Is it Willie Mays? Is it Barry Bonds? Is it Sadaharu Oh? Who knows, right? But it's one of those situations where there'll be no discussion about who the most valuable and sought-after baseball player and most talented will be. And I think that's going to be Otani. And so even though he might not be the most, like the best ever, I think he will basically be priced as the best ever for good reason. And I think that's going to stay long-term. So
great. Thank you. I want to move on to the next question.
Sure.
This is something maybe you already answered, but I'm just wondering, like, how well understood the Japanese brands like BBM, Epoch, Calbee amongst everyday collectors in US? Like,
good question. There's not much understanding. I think people understand that. Actually, I really don't know. I would love to ask them. I think people know Otani stuff okay. And because they know some of Otani's stuff, that extends to other players. But I don't think people know it well at all. Like, I don't think people know the hierarchy. I don't think people realize that Genesis is like the best brand, even though Otani's Genesis rookies aren't as valuable as his first version rookies. Like, I don't think that understanding is there. So I think there's going to have to be a few players. Maybe it's Murakami, maybe it's Sato in a couple of years. But we need to have a few hitters come over and really drive demand for those pre-tops cards. And that's when we'll start to have that understanding click. But I don't think we're there yet.
Okay. Because, like, when you look at Murakami, like, his BBM first version, the value went so high the last 2-3 months.
Yes, it's crazy. It makes me want to buy Sato first versions, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't own one Sato first version. That actually, like 2 months ago, Sato first version, you could have bought it for 3,000 yen, which is like maybe $20. Now it's like $200. So
yeah. And if you want into PSA 10, you're looking at like multi-thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the waters are getting muddied a little bit because Topps is now producing Topps Chrome. And so Topps is producing Topps Chrome, Stadium Club, and a couple of other stuff in Japan of Japanese players. So I think that could harm BBM cards in the US in the long run. Just because there's alternatives people are familiar with. But obviously BBM, it's been around for the first version forever. I don't know when it started, but it was pre-Ichiro. I know that for sure because Ichiro has the Blue Wave rookie in 93. But I know it's been since like the 70s or 80s, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how back it goes, but like it has a long history. So it's a good question, actually. I would like to check that out.
I'm gonna Google it real quick. Let's see.
Okay. All right.
It was 1991 was the inaugural set. So 2 years before Ichiro. Good thing because wasn't Ichiro 93 for the Blue Wave?
Yeah. I think that's 93.
I need to get one of those. I wonder what those are priced at now. I'm scared to look.
It's not too expensive. I bought one like 6 months ago. I paid like maybe like around $300.
Yeah, that's crazy. The Blue Wave, PSA 10 Blue Wave is less than Sato's PSA 10 first version. So
really,
yeah, people haven't really caught on to that quite yet.
No,
maybe it will, maybe they won't. Who knows?
That's a bargain, I would say.
Yeah, what's the pop on that? Can't be very high, right?
No, it can't be high. And if you even find it raw, it's not going to be in good condition, right?
Yeah. For a card from back then, I might be buying one of these after the show. Who knows?
Well, I think that's not a lot of people is looking at Ichiro right now, right? They're looking at Otani and Murakami. So,
have you ever noticed that sometimes PSA's website can be a little bit tough to navigate?
Yeah, you can't search. Like, you don't get the search results.
Yeah. But let's see if I can find it one more time. Okay. I think I found it.
Okay.
So, Ichiro's card. There are 129 PSA 10s. Only 1,300 graded. And I don't see that going up much. So, that's pretty cool to see.
So, maybe a PSA 10 is going to be a good buy.
Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, sorry for another tangent. But yeah, I do think that there is some lack of understanding around BBM rookies. I think first version is easy for American collectors to comprehend because it aligns with the Bowman first. First is easy. But I don't think people realize that some rookies probably don't have a first rookie. They're the second version or second edition. I don't know how quite that is. I think it's second version is how it is for this series.
Second version.
Yeah, it is version. But like that's the one that I don't think people realize exists. And so it's just funny to see how American collectors are trying to do it, but not quite doing it correctly.
Do you ever, Scott, do you go to car shows?
I do for work. Like I'm going to Fanatics Fest. I'm going to the National. I don't go to a ton of local card shows. My problem is I'll buy cards if I go.
Right.
So I spend my money.
Do you, like when you visit, do you ever see these Japanese cards on
Otani, yes, and that's it. Nobody else. Like no Yu Darvish, no anybody else besides Otani. Maybe I'll see Murakami this year. Probably will see Murakami, but just those guys. You got to be really, really special to have your pre-American rookies there.
Okay. Oh, so it's you don't like really see it on every table or anything, but you see it like on some tables. They might have.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and some people, there will be some collectors there who have a full table of Otani BBM cards. Like that might be their thing. I will say at the National last year, there was a 2014 Classics Otani autograph. So that was pretty cool. It's so, I mean, one of my friends, I don't know if you're familiar with Filmington, but he was looking to buy it for like 10,000 and didn't. That card is probably 100,000 now because all of his BBM autographs are crazy. But the market has just changed so much since then. So.
Yeah, BBM autographs are really rare. So like I've been trying to buy the Sato one. I have one, but like you can actually like find one in a very like rare occasion, but like it gets really expensive now, so it's really difficult to afford. Okay, moving on to the next question. In your eyes, in your perspective, does the early 2013 Japanese BBM cards or Epoch or Calbee cards, do you see this as like a true rookie card? Or do you place more weight on the 2018 MLB debut cards?
That's a great question. And To be honest, I go back and forth on it. I think Ohtani is great enough that he can have 2 true rookie cards or 2 rookie years. I have no issue with that myself. I'll put my money where my mouth is, though. I am more inclined to buy 2018 cards at higher prices by far than I would be to buy a 2018 card. Unless it was like one of his rare, I think he has like 110 or 120 total BBM autos from 2013. Maybe I'll buy one of those like for a high price. But like even like the red version of a Red Wing, I don't know. I'd have a hard time paying a couple $100,000 for that. But for a Dynasty autograph in 2018 Topps Dynasty, I would be more comfortable paying that price. So I do think they both can be legitimate rookie cards, but I do think I personally put a preference to Topps cards, and that could just be because of my own bias as an American collector. But I do personally view them both as rookie cards, but I do think 2018 will probably always be more sought after and more understood. That's the bigger thing. It's about understanding. And even though 2013 is probably easier to understand, I don't think that you're going to get the whole U.S. collector base behind that, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, I guess like in order for the 2013 Japanese cards to be more appreciated, the collectors need to have that knowledge of the 2013 cards available by Ohtani. So maybe there is still an opportunity though, like for the cards to be more recognized, and maybe it gets more appreciated over time because of it's also the low pop counts as well.
I think so. Obviously, I don't know. Nobody can say for certain what the market's going to do. If they could, they'd be rich and they probably wouldn't share their advice. But it's one of those things where I could see a situation where those continue to grow, and as Ohtani's career comes to a finish, we'll look back and say, I want the earliest cards, like we see with Jordan and the star rookie,
right,
and other players. Like there's a chance. There's also a chance that BBM is always treated as a prospect card. There's that opportunity, that potential chance as well. And that's like the worst case situation, is they get treated as prospect cards, because not many prospect cards can break through as valuable long-term assets. But I think that it'll land probably somewhere in the middle, where they'll be viewed as like true rookies and then prospects. Some people will value them, some people won't value them. And that's why I think 2018 has better long-term potential, because everybody thinks they're rookies. But you're kind of mixed between 2013.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, how do you see the long-term status of Ohtani's early cards evolving? And do you think they will eventually hold some legacy status as future vintage grails?
I do. I mean, we haven't really entered we have with the 90s. 90s aren't vintage yet, obviously, but haven't entered a world where vintage is serial numbered yet. Our first serial numbering, when was that? In like 1996, 1997, we started to get some serial numbering. And so we got to see what happens 20 years from now with some of the rare numbered stuff. I think that the serial numbered winks are going to be very valuable. There's a weird movement from American collectors, and I think it's because, and I don't want to call anybody out, but I think it's because they have these cards, and so they're talking them up, where they're downplaying the Red Wing first version and they're overplaying some of the what is it called? His first set. Yeah, the rookie edition. So, but those are different because those were just like a rookie only subset. They weren't really a main flagship set like the first version. And so there is still, I think the US market in particular is rife with manipulation. Like I think people are manipulating this market, and that's a concern for me as someone wanting to buy in. So some of these cards I won't touch in the short term because the pop counts are so low, the cards are so rare. People have bad intentions, a lot of the time motivations. Even if they don't mean to, they're trying to move the market for their own cards. And so because of that, like I have some concern for some cards, but a lot of individuals who have all of these they bought for cheap recently are saying, no, it's not the first version that's valuable. It's this one that's valuable for this reason. And so that's going to be hard to overcome. But I do think if I were looking at like a grail long-term, I would look for a numbered first version personally, or an autograph, obviously. But those autographs, you don't see them. But I do think they have the chance to be legacy products, iconic cards. That first version, Red Wing, is going to be, to me, the iconic card that's recognizable to people who aren't even familiar with 2013 BBM sets, but that might take some time.
Yeah, I would say that the Red Wing 2013 BBM first version is probably like the most iconic BBM cards for me.
Totally.
Because, it's just like really extremely iconic already. And that's probably the card that a lot of people will first go for. So, and going even after Otani, like all the other players, like all the first version cards are the most popular. And that's the cards that is kind of like the target where the collectors chase for. So,
yeah. I mean, like you already mentioned it, we're seeing that with Yamamoto. We're seeing that with Murakami and Sato. Like, that's the card people want much more than other random sets. So I think that's good for Otani's staying power with that card.
Right. Great. Okay. So Scott, like we also talk about this, but given the massive overproduction of modern parallels and variations today, what is the best advice for collectors trying to navigate the noise of finding a long-term value?
Is this of all cards or mainly of BBM cards?
No, I'm thinking like all cards, even like tops cards, everything included.
So I think speculation is harder now than it's ever been. There's so many options to speculate on. There's so many different parallels to speculate on. I would recommend, like the way I'm approaching it, is get the best card of the best player you can afford, which sounds silly and sounds obvious, but even if it's less rare than some counterparts, a lot of the times it's a better buy because you'll have the liquidity. It's going to be more recommendable to more collectors. So that's one thing, is just because something is serial numbered, especially for tops. With BBM, I'm less familiar with like everyday print runs, so I can't really say. But you'll have random sets that are numbered to 5 of like someone like Bobby Wood Jr. from 2022 that don't go for very much. And there's usually a reason they don't go for very much. But people see that and say, this is a really cool card, which it is, and it's numbered to 5, so it should be a good buy because it's a rookie card. But that's not always the case. You want to go for the best version of a card you can and the best set, even if it's less rare, just because those are the ones that have the opportunity to move up faster. Or on the flip side, you can target like really rare, even if it's not the best version, like a 101. Those are a little bit different and play by some different rules, and sometimes you can do well there.
Great. Okay. Great.
Hopefully that made sense. It wasn't just like 2 minutes of rambling. So
no. It makes sense. That's a very good way of thinking, because I'm actually opposite. Like I tend to want to own a lot of the cards the players I want. So usually, like rather than buying one card with a very high price, I usually tend to buy different variations of the cards.
Well, you're a collector. When you're a collector, you buy whatever you want, man. And that's the beauty of this whole situation. If you're looking as an investment, you got to be very strategic. And I think, like, if I said, hey, I need you to go get the best investment Otani portfolio you can, I would imagine you would sell some of the, if I gave you, let's say, $100,000, right? You probably would go after the more iconic stuff, if I had to guess. Versus like a plethora of lower end stuff, just because it's easier for it to move. But like as a collector, that's the beauty of it, especially with the BBM stuff. You can get some really great, not just Otani rookies, but I'm guessing Murakami and Sato and other players, Yu Darvish that came before them, that for pretty cheap because they're lesser known sets. And if you're just looking to collect, just enjoy that. Enjoy cards you think are really cool looking is my advice.
Yeah, good, very good advice. Thank you.
And who knows? Once a market like Otani moves, rising tides raise all boats. Even though they might not have the same price appreciation, they'll still go up, which is good.
Okay. I would say like since right now, like the value it's not as appreciated as much. So like I can totally see if the demand goes up, the value of the BBM cards can eventually go up as well. But as you said, like I would say like Murakami, because of Murakami and Otani, I think like the upcoming players are like Sato is also being recognized, and a lot of people are actually picking his cards up lately.
He's been awesome this year. So I think he's going to be, hopefully there's a baseball season next year for Major League Baseball. If not, that might kind of ruin the excitement of Sato coming over and being posted, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. Scott, first of all, like, thank you, Scott, for joining. But before we leave here, I would like to ask for any like messages or like any last words from you and also from Market Movers, if you'd like to introduce anything to the audience here in Japan.
Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with Market Movers, it's a great app to figure out sales history of cards. And so even if like we don't track it in Market Movers from like a perspective of like track your collection, we still have very large sales database, but we have significantly more cards in our tracked database. So if you want to see price movements, let me share my screen real quick. If you want to see like price movements of Otani's BBM rookie card, you can go see that here for the first version. And we can even go in and type in, let's go 2013 Otani. We have all of these available and tracked. So we can go to like, I love this star rookie. I love this card. I'd love to buy one. And we can do it based off of grade. The last PSA 10 sold for how much? $4,800. Sheesh. Wow. But if we want to do all data, we can see the price history since 2021 here. You can go change it by grade. All of this is inside of Market Movers for all of his card catalog. And we're going to be adding more and more players, more and more sets. But all of this is different than something like Competitor because they don't have this many options to look at. But let's say there's a card that's not in here. Let's see if Murakami BBM's in here. I highly doubt it is yet. Murakami BBM. Maybe it is. Nope. So there's no Murakami BBM yet in here, but we have the ability to do all the comps and see all the sales history, whatever we wanted to do. Let's do first version just to be safe. So now we can go track that right here. What a cool card this one is, though.
Yeah.
Cool parallel. I wish Otani had one of those.
I actually had a chance to buy that for a very inexpensive price. So I'm
not going to rub the salt in the wounds too much, but I'm sure you've made some good deals for stuff that you were happy you bought.
Yeah, so I'm happy. Although I missed on a lot, but
I mean, we all can relate to that. You know, we like to talk about the times we missed more than the times we hit. It's easier to be like, oh, I'd be a millionaire if I would have just trusted my gut. You know,
of course.
But yeah, so Market Movers is cool. We're going to be trying to make it better for especially Japanese collectors in the future. So
great. That sounds fantastic. And I would love to test it out if you need someone to test.
Oh, definitely. We'll be the first person.
Great. Well, Scott, any last words to the audience?
Nope. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to see what happens with some of his BBM cards, Otani in particular, and we'll see. Maybe in 10 years we have this conversation again and we're both millionaires, you and I, because of it. So
great. Well, I hope that I can take you out to see a baseball game here in Japan. And yeah.
I might be coming to Japan soon. When I do, I'll let you know. We can go check out your favorite card shop or something.
Great. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming in, Scott.
Of course. Talk to you soon.
はい、皆さんどうだったでしょう？まあ本日ね、スコットさんをお招きさせていただいて、日本のカードについて、お話をさせていただいたんですけど、皆さんどのように感じられましたか？はい。まあ僕が感じたことは、MLB で活躍されている日本の選手のカードにつきましては、やはりね、日本の NPB 時代のカードっていうのが、 あってですね、それがね、もっと認知度が広がるにつれて、もうちょっと貴重化されるんじゃないかなっていう風に感じました。このね、インタビューの前よりも、思ってたよりも、大谷さんの BBM のルーキーカード、2013年のルーキーカードの認知度っていうのは低いっていうような印象でした。やはりね、2018年が大谷さんのルーキーという風に感じられてる方のコレクターの方が圧倒的に多いっていうところと、そのね、2013年が、これからその認知度が拡大することによって、日本の活躍されている選手のカードに対してのデマンドっていうのはこれからも上がってくるんじゃないかなっていうのは今回すごく僕として感じた点ですね。で、あとね、一つやっぱ、面白いご意見だったのが、その大谷選手に関しては、あまりにも本当にすごい選手、もう本当に伝説の選手なんで、彼は2つのルーキーカードを持っててもいいんじゃないか。というようなことをおっしゃってたんですね。で、まさに僕もそれ、間違いないかなと思っていて、レジェンドクラスにはもう達成していて、そのレジェンドクラスの選手の中でどこに位置している選手なのかっていうようなディスカッションの中で、圧倒的に1位だとは感じてるんですけど、その中でもね、1位なのかどうなのかみたいなディスカッションになるような選手、そういった伝説級の選手に関しては、2つのルーキーカードあってもいいんじゃないかっていうようなご意見でした。で、僕もね、それはすごく納得できるかなと思っていて、これからね、2013年のルーキーカードに関しては、どんどんね、認知度が上がっていくっていうところが結構重要なんじゃないかなと思っております。大谷さんの BBM エポックカルビーのカードにつきましては、これから注目度がどんどん上がるにつれて、価値っていうのもついてくるんじゃないかなっていう風には感じられるので、特に僕の意見としては、おそらくですけど、未完定のカードって結構出回ってると思うんですよ。今回のインタビューでも僕が発言してたんですけど、9とか10とかハイグレードに関しては数がすごい限られてるんじゃないかなと思っていて、そこら辺がかなり貴重になってくるんじゃないかなと思います。はい。なので、皆さんね、そちらお持ちの方いらっしゃいましたら、大事にされるのがいいんじゃないかなと思います。このような形で、そのスコットさんとは、またね、別のトピックでもお話したいなと思いますので、またね、スコットさん招いて、お話できればなと思います。はい。ここまでね、ご視聴ありがとうございました。皆さんどう思われました？日本のカードがアメリカでどのように評価されているか、その点についてとか、BBM こんな素晴らしいカードがあるんだよとか、皆さんのね、エピソードとかコメントとかございましたら、ぜひね、コメント欄に書いていただければ嬉しいです。はい。またね、ここまで見ていただいた方、ぜひね、こういう動画の高評価と、あとチャンネル登録がまだの方、ぜひチャンネル登録をご検討いただければと思います。はい。では、また